Good afternoon. This is Media Center Ukraine, Odesa. We continue our workday. We're having with us now Arkady Mkrtychyan, Deputy Head of the Odessa District Military Administration. Mr. Mkrtychyan, the floor is yours. Good afternoon. Thank you for the invitation. Can you tell us about the employment of IDPs in Odessa Rayon or district? At the moment, the employment of IDPs is a very important problem and a very important issue, and it is really very needed because the IDPs in Odessa Rayon is around 130,000 persons. The number is significant. And of course, we should exclude children from that number, people from disability, retired people, but and we will get to the number of around 35,000 people who need to be employed. Why is it needed? It is needed, first of all, for socialization of the people who are staying now in our district, for them to feel more comfortable in the new society. These people have lost everything that they had, their lives, their houses and homes. And that's why they need to work while staying here to feel that they are the part of our family. And of course, we should speak about the economy aspects because when people work, they pay taxes and they help to develop our economy. And every hryvnia in our economy is additional bullet that we need. Can you share details about cooperation with international charitable organizations that provide humanitarian aid? We have been cooperating with all organizations, with everyone who want to help our district and our rayon and our country. We have been cooperating with the Red Cross that 10th of April, UNICEF, even small organizations like the Road to Home that works only with the small children is among our partners. And for example, they are going to have the patriotic event in the city of Chornomorsk. They want to invite around 250 children, as well as their parents, who will be also involved in the event. They will write patriotic letters to our defenders. They will work with the psychologist. They will create dolls. So that is going to be a really great event. And we have many other projects. For example, the project of Red Cross that provided around 1,000 food products and personal care kits. They also provided around 300 kits, including beds, mattresses, everything which is needed for people to feel that they're at home. Thank you. Dear colleagues, do we have any questions? Good afternoon. My name is Anatoly Kosin. I have two questions, but of the same nature. Recently, we've had a representative of agrarian industry, and he mentioned that there is lack now of workforce for the agrarian sector. How many IDPs have been employed in the agrarian sector? That's a great question, and there is a problem with the agrarian sector now, because a professional tractor driver is almost already tank driver, and they are the first to be mobilized. They train for 2-3 months, and then they are sent to the front line to protect their homeland and their family. But we have a lot of activities in this area. We've had good cooperation with the local recruitment center. We organize fairs. We invite agrarians. We invite men of specific categories. If they do not have the proper background, we send these people to training, and in 3 months we have the ready-made tractor and combine driver. We have such problem, and we try to solve the issue. I am not a professional in this area, but I can say that all agrarians are protected by the Ministry of Economy and the Ministry of Defense. There is a special program, and the agrarian can apply to this program to reserve 50% of their staff, for their staff not to be mobilized. We help to train their staff, the professional, and we will do everything possible for our country to be victorious. And how many people have been employed through that training program? I can not share the details about the agrarian sector because the project is quite big. But the latest event, the latest that we had, that was not only the job fair, that was kind of a marathon. We started in Chernomorsk, and around 1,000 people attended that event. And the same day, around 12 people were hired right away. 2 persons were on probation period, and then we continued that marathon of such events for every community. The main event was organized by the Human Resources Center in Odesa. More than 100 employees were invited to that event, and they had around 1,500 guests of people looking for job. And our result was around 170 persons who were hired. And I have one more question about employment. The government has started the employment program, which is called the Recovery Guard or Recovery Army. And the program hires unemployed for some socially useful jobs. No, there are different areas. There is the offensive guard and socially useful employment, which is the public program, which works through the employment centers. But fortunately, our region is not the part of the program because actually they need people to clear the rebel after missile attacks, and we don't have now such cases in our region. And but people, yes, they can be hired for such work, but this is not in our region. But you can be hired for the invincibility points, but now we don't need them. That's why this program cannot be used in our region. But we have the voucher project. If you are an IDP, the state gives you a voucher through the employment center for you to pay for training in a retraining center or to get the second job. And this is really very important because the process is ongoing, and people 45 of the that are older than 45 years and can be trained. And the training costs around 25,000 hryvnias, but the state will cover that expenses, and we will get the professionals that we need. And I've seen the story on the news about that recovery army, and in some region, I think in Cherkasy region, people were invited to create nets for the army. Every community, every village, every town in Odessa has volunteers who create these camouflage nets. And we actually, once we were offered to hire people to make camouflage nets. But actually, the response of people was negative because people who make such camouflage nets, they are volunteers, and they are glad to do this on the volunteer basis in different cities and towns of our regions. And volunteers, they don't want to get any remuneration for that work. I have a question from the journalist who's watching our online broadcasts. How many IDPs have been hired, have been employed, and what are the plans? And as of now, and I can share only the official data with you, more than 1,000 persons have been employed. I don't know how many other people were employed, but we understand that there is still room for the improvement. We work with the communities to improve the situation, and every week we collect information about what has been done. The military administration of Odesa Rayon has also opened the Telegram channel with the jobs in our rayon. And around 800 jobs have been published there, starting from a driver to a doctor, teacher. So you can just take a look at the channel. And as of today, I can just tell you the number of subscribers of the channel, which is constantly changing. So I will open that channel. And we can see the jobs, for example, for the village, a plumber is needed for the salary of 13,000 hryvnias. The same job in another village, the salary is 6,500 hryvnias. And also, they also need cleaners. And we can calculate how many jobs have been published today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So more than 10 jobs have been published today. Much more that have been published only today. So the work is ongoing. It is quite a difficult task. And unfortunately, I cannot share all information with you. But people need to be employed because they need to earn money, and this also can support the development of our economy. But and it is quite difficult to fulfill the task. And the IDPs, they got food, money from the government. There is still room for the improvement, but we work. Thank you for being with us today. That was Arkady Mkrtychyan, Deputy Head of the Odessa District Military Administration. See you at 3 p.m.